Thank you for giving up 10 minutes of your day to join me for a look at popdock.com. What I'm going to do today is show you through Popdock through my eyes. I want to show you how I use Popdock every day to get the data I need to do my job. So the first thing I do each day is come to popdock.com and I click login. My own personal email and login and password gives me access to all of the setup and connections I need to get the data from multiple systems that I need to do my job. So the first thing I like to do is know whether we've sold anything today, and I refresh this multiple times in any given day. So I go to the tab here called GP Today. So what that's doing is it's connecting to the Microsoft Dynamics GP API and grabbing back anything we've sold just today and displaying it to me in a list form just like this. Now these lists are kind of cool in that I can sort by them. So the first thing I can see is we've had 74 transactions today. Kind of a nice start for the day. And we can see that we've had $22,000 worth of sales. Now, the first thing I want to do is sort that because I want to look at the big dollar sales. So I sort by my price field and then I scroll to the bottom. And I can see our bigger dollar ones for the day and I can see a few $1,000 sales, which is kind of really nice. Now, the next thing I want to do is perhaps see some specific transactions. So I want to find some things in here. So I was talking to a customer and they said they sold something for $210. So I might type into the find section 210 and it brings back every record that met that criteria. So a really fast way to get at a specific piece of information that I need to do my job, to answer a phone call. We'll back out the 210. The next thing I might feel is like, I wonder where we're selling. I wonder where we're selling today. I wonder where we're selling this month. So I will go to show columns. I'm then limited to the data on the right hand side here that is in some way about the sale that I'm looking at. And there's a lot of data in here. So if I type in city, I might want to add the city from the customer and we'll add that column in here. So now we're seeing each of the cities where we've sold. Now I can place any of these columns wherever I'd like. So I will drag and drop this right across to the front of the customer and we can now see the city. And I could sort by that column. The next thing I want to do is maybe look at this from more of a holistic view, and I want to group this data by where we're selling or the products we're selling. So I'll take the item number here, I'm going to drag that up to this little section at the top, and it's going to group and summarize this entire list based upon the products. So we can see we've had some extender renewals today, and as if I scroll down, we've had some Smart Connect renewals, which is good, and there's a subtotal of 14. And we've had some SmartList Builder renewals. It's been good. We've had 27 renewals already today. So that's a pretty cool day for me on the renewal side. So that's the basics of navigating any given list. Now, I told you at the beginning that this list was just for today. Now that's defined by my filter. Now I can access the filter here, or you can see at the bottom, it's declaring exactly what we're filtering on. So if I open that up, it's saying we only want invoices, and I only want where the document date equals today. Now with each of these filters, you've got a bunch of flexibility. So I could change this to yesterday or tomorrow, or I could change this filter to say I want it only where it's greater than. And I could pick the start of the week, the start of the month, the start of the quarter, the start of the year, the end of those, or any of those values, or any other date field we've got. So there's a bunch of flexibility in what I can filter on. And you can add an unlimited number of filters to pull back just the data you want. And we'll look at filtering a little later. So the next thing I might want to do in it today is get excited about how much product we've sold. Now it's the last day of the month, so I've got a tab here that says how many Smart Connects did I sell this month. That's one of the products we sell. So when I click on Smart Connect, it goes off and it returns me this list. And I can see that we've sold 71 Smart Connects this month, which is a really good month for us, and all the data relating to that. Now, it might be that that's all I wanted to know. I just wanted the count. Or I might want to see how that was broken up, what products we sold. So I can flip this list to be a chart. So it's not just list data. I want to see that as a chart. It's going to go and say, hey, of those 71, most of them were straight up Smart Connect. Some of them were software as a service and people are paying monthly. Some of those were sold as bundles, and we can see that here. Now, if I wanted to flip that, I could come over to the right-hand side and say, not just do I want to see it by item, I want to see it by date, or I want to see it by customer, and I can change these filters and change the options here for the chart. So if I wanted to see that as a pie, we can click on the pie and we can see exactly how it's split up that way. So some simple charting to give me a snapshot view of what I want to see. Now we'll flip that one back to being a list. Now, I mentioned the filtering. All of the filtering that goes on here, I can do on here as well. So you can see I've got a fairly complex filter to pull the list I wanted just for this month. And again, I could add much more complex filtering. Now, the next thing I want to do is not related to ERP. We've got a new salesperson here, and I want to take a look at how he's going with his opportunities. So I've got a tab here called Luke's Opportunities. When I click on Luke's Opportunities, it's connecting to Microsoft Dynamics CRM, or Customer Engagement as it's known. You'll notice from this breadcrumb here that it says Microsoft CRM Sales Opportunities, and I've created a favorite with my filter. You'll notice the filter down here called Luke. So only where the owner of that opportunity's name is Luke Steckler. And that gives me that data. So I can now see how many opportunities Luke's got. I can scroll through them and I can investigate them, or I can set my own filters. So if I wanted to set my own filter, I come to filter and I can say, what do I want to see about what Luke's got? So we could set the filter on a given date range. Now I could see other data from Microsoft CRM, so I can navigate to any list here that's in accounts, contacts, emails, leads, opportunities, phone calls I need to make, and that's everything from Microsoft Dynamics CRM that I can pull through, and I could choose any of these. So if I wanted to take a look at contacts now, I'll switch this one, so it won't be Luke's Opportunities anymore. While that favorite still exists, I'm switching to contacts. Now let's pretend I just took a phone call. Phone rang and I can't remember where this person's from and I want to look them up. So I'm going to put a filter on here that says, hey, go through my entire CRM and show me where. I'm going to find where the name is equal to Mary. So that's doing a full search throughout my entire CRM to bring me back everybody in my database called Mary. Now I could have filtered that down further, but then here I go, it was Mary and she works at, and I can see that data, I can see that, and I can even send Mary an email. So I can click on here, take that link, and it's going to run off and send an email straight to them. So I didn't have to switch to my CRM system. I didn't have to go and log into it, remember my passwords, navigate through that. I can get the data I wanted as fast as I possibly could. Now, at the end of that call, somebody might walk up to me and say, now look, I want to know how much we're selling as software as a service. So now I'm back in ERP thought. Now I don't want to log into my ERP and start clicking around a clunky reporting model. I'm going to come and take this tab, which is my software as a service sales. Now we're back to connecting to GP, but I've got a filter on here and a favorite called all my software as a service sales. You can see that long filter at the bottom. And it gives me a list here of everything we've sold, and you'll notice the item number here, every one of them has an SaaS on it, which is my SaaS software as a service sales. Now, this one's been limited to just September, but I can come and modify that and say we don't want just September's, make a change to that. So I can now see how much we sold in any given month as software as a service. So as you can see, I've connected to two different systems here. Now, a third system that I like to look at every day is our credit card gateway. When somebody buys from E1, you're going to your credit card, it's going through a credit card gateway. So I can come to my Braintree transactions. So we use Braintree as the gateway, and I can grab that data out of Braintree and display it to me here to see what went through, what didn't go through, what was declined based upon the credit card. So here I'm pulling up that list. Again, I've got this for just the week. We can see what's gone through and what's not gone through for the week. Now, if I wanted to see only things that fell into certain categories, I'll group by that, and we can see a list of everybody where the processor has been declined. And we'll get rid of that one, and we can look at everything that's settled. So I can see data from that system now with all of the same functionality. I can show my columns and add data out of Braintree into this list. I can add filters down the bottom. I can change the columns and move them around. And so I've got the same reporting functionality out of Braintree as you saw me have out of CRM and out of my ERP Dynamics GP. Now, it gets even more fun than that. Across the tabs here, I've got this one here called Followers. Now, from that icon, you can tell that's not anything to do with accounting. This is me being vain and looking at how many followers I have on Twitter. So we've now connected Popdock to Twitter to go and say, here's a list of all your followers. I've got 344 followers, and I can search and click through each of those, all paginated for me to get the data I want. Now, followers is nice. What I like more is I want to have a look at the tweets, and I want to see which one of my tweets have been favorited the most. So I'm going to take this one here. We're connecting to that same API to bring back. Now, these ones clearly didn't go very well. I got 0 favorites on those. So let's sort the other way. And we'll go right to the bottom. And there's lots with 0, so let's go to page 4. And we can see that some of these tweets got favorited 28 times. Now, that doesn't make me very popular on Twitter, but it lets me see that data. Now, if I wanted to filter and search and add columns and add data, all of that's again available on Twitter. So there's some fields related to tweets. I can filter and set, I want to find it only where the favorites are greater than 10. I'm not going to have any that meet 100, so let's do 10. So that's now filtering my Twitter feed to give me my tweets where I got more than 10 responses. Kind of cool. Now, if I really like that one, I can make that a new favorite. So up the top, I'll say, let's edit my favorite and give it a new name, or I could create a brand new favorite. And we'll say, let's call this greater than 10. And we'll save as a new one. So now you'll notice I've got a tab up here called greater than 10. Anytime I want to take a look at that report, all I have to do is navigate through here, go to tweets, and you'll see I've got greater than 10 existing as a predefined list I can click on and open that up to the screen. So what else could I do? I can link to so many things. If we look at popdock.com, you can see you can link to any data you want in your system. If I was to add a new tab, I've got all these connectors here that have been defined for me. So these are my specific ones. I can grab data out of people watching our YouTube if I'd like. I can get data out of all of these ones. But if we go from there and we jump back to popdock.com, and we take a look at connectors, you're able to connect your Popdock to data from any of these systems. And as you can see, there's a whole pile of them. Now, if there's one that you don't have in that list and you would like to connect your Popdock to, let us know. It doesn't take us long, and we'll add to that list and give you access to the data from your system that you need, and it becomes that simple. Now, perhaps the most exciting part is it's so very affordable. $19 a user per month is all it takes, and you get all of that reporting capability for any of your systems all in one place. So thanks for your time today. If you want to follow up, you can start a 30-day trial. So straight back on the Popdock home page, you can start a 30-day trial, get that up and running. We'll make contact with you to make sure that you have all the knowledge you need to get started. I look forward to you enjoying Popdock as much as I do. Thank you.